Hi, Victory Nation. Welcome to Inside My Victory, a podcast about the church, leadership, and creativity. I'm Pastor Gene.
Yeah, and I'm Pastor Kelly, and you can follow the podcast today with the notes we've provided for you by going to my website, kellystickle.com.
And if you have questions that you would like us to discuss, subject matter you'd like us to talk about, please email us at myleadership. I'm sorry, that's not true at all. I said my leadership.
Well, my leadership, yeah.
Let's start over real quick here, okay? Sorry. Hi, Victory Nation. Welcome to Inside My Victory, a podcast about the church, leadership, and creativity. I'm Pastor Gene.
And I'm Pastor Kelly, and you can follow the podcast with the notes we provided for you by going to my website, kellystickle.com.
And if you have questions that you would like to ask or subject matter you'd like us to discuss, please email us at leadership@myvictory.ca.
Yeah, please take advantage of this. If you're a pastor or a church leader and you have a topic you'd like us to discuss or a question you'd like us to dig into, you can email that question again at leadership@myvictory.ca, and we would love to take it on.
Yes, we would. What a great discussion we had last week. That was
so much fun.
How are you, Pastor Kelly?
I'm doing great.
That's good. That's good. Well, we're continuing the subject matter of team collaboration, and I think sometimes a team just gets stuck. Just can't seem to move forward. And I'm going to dig into a few more of the necessities you talked about last week.
Yeah.
And this week, let's talk about participation, mediation, reciprocity, reflection, and engagement. I think you're going to do a great job on this. Are you ready?
Okay, here we go.
First question. Why does healthy team collaboration depend 100% on participation 100% of the time? And what can a leader do to foster that kind of and that level of participation?
Yeah, well, without participation, there is no collaboration. I think collaboration as a whole means that I'm not going to do it alone. I have to collaborate with somebody else. So in order for a team to have collaboration, it requires participation. That's just a necessity. But what is even more important, and I think this is something that we often overlook as leaders, is that if I have a team or if I have a team meeting and I have people sitting around the meeting, if there's somebody there that is not participating in the discussion or not participating in the meeting at all, why are they there?
Why are they there?
Yeah, and there's no purpose for them being there.
Right.
And we need the participation of everyone. So that's what this point is all about. The key to collaboration is we can't have anybody sitting on the bench, not getting involved, not getting into the game. We need, in order to maximize the team's potential, in order to maximize the problem we're called to solve, the solution that we're working towards, we need everyone to play their part because everyone has a unique skill, has a unique strength, has a unique perspective, and we need everyone to work within that perspective.
That's why they're on the team.
That's why they're there.
As leaders, we have a bias for being right. Not you and I.
Yeah,
no, not us, of course, but other people that we might know.
Right.
And we tend to know that we're right, and we impatiently wait for everyone else to come around to understanding our right.
Right.
But honestly, that sounds a little bit more like maybe mandating than collaborating.
Yeah.
So how do we mediate, which is our second necessity today? How do we mediate our way to the middle ground in the midst of disagreements?
Man, that's a great.
I just kind of throw you that question. I'm going to leave the room, let you answer.
There
go
we
ahead.
go. It's a great question. It's a loaded question, and it is so true. All of us leaders, we have our opinions, and our opinions, I know this might be a shock, aren't always right, but we do need to learn how to mediate. There's a key to collaboration is if the leader is the only one with the idea, the only one with the solution, the only one that is contributing, to the direction of the team, we don't have collaboration.
Right.
So we do need to have that next key is mediation. We do need to be able to mediate. I think the days of the boss are long gone.
Right.
We can't tell people what to do anymore. We have to lead them to do that, and that means that we have to mediate sometimes. We have to listen to them. We have to get their input, and we have to follow their opinions and their inputs, and try it and work with it. And a lot of times when we do that, we find that hey, their idea was better than ours.
Yeah.
And this is great. So I think the way we mediate is to point everyone to the problem to solve, the consensus solution, and then keep them focused on the benefits of the team win rather than just
That's
as
good.
individual
That's good.
wins. So
And that's kind of a learning curve for a lot of leaders
it really is
every day.
every day.
Our fifth necessity for team collaboration is reciprocity.
Yep.
And how have you found the mutual benefit of reciprocity to enhance team collaboration?
Well, for our listeners, again, I'll go through the five keys or five necessities for team collaboration. The first one we talked about last week was awareness, then motivation, and then self-synchronization. And then today we start again with participation. And then fifthly, is mediation. And when it comes to number 6, which is reciprocity is all about sharing. It's all about back and forth. It's about I'm not just receiving from somebody, I got to give back. And I'm not just giving, I got to receive back. So the benefit is that we all get better when we openly share with one another. That's a big idea. We need to share ideas. We need to share wins. We need to share losses. If we don't share what's not working, somebody else will make the same mistake, and we could have helped because if we had shared our loss or what didn't work.
Yes.
We need to share resources. We need to share strengths. We need to share what our weaknesses are. So that we can pull on somebody else's strength. We need to just reciprocate back and forth, and we can go further when we share and when we are shared with.
And that has a lot to do with authenticity.
Yes.
That we're more authentic leaders when we can admit the flaws or the situations we're not so good at, our strengths and our weaknesses.
That's so good.
True. The next necessity for team collaboration, number 7, is reflection. And you talked the other day about that a lot of times there are people that just think and think and think and think and never get around to doing.
Yep.
And then there are people that just do and don't think. Thus the need for team collaboration to intentionally take time to be reflective. But how do you as a leader really expedite that idea of reflective thinking as part of team collaboration?
That was the one chapter, reflective thinking, the one chapter in John Maxwell's book, Thinking for a Change, that really jumped out at me. It was worth the whole book, in my opinion, because as a leader, I realized I wasn't taking the time to reflect, even just personally. Just reflect and think and reflect on my day, what went right, what went wrong, reflect on my week, reflect on my year, whatever that might be. But I think it takes time as a leader to reflect, because we can get better when we learn how to reflectively think. So highly recommend everyone get that book, just to read that chapter.
Yes.
If nothing else, it'll be helpful.
15 Laws, very good book.
But as a leader now, we have to lead our teams to do the same thing.
Right.
To reflect. So, and we learn so much more when we do reflect. What went right, what went wrong, what could we have done better, what did we learn, what won't we do again? I think the way to expedite reflective thinking is by leading the team to do so. By having mandated debriefs with the team as a whole after a project or after an event. We have what we call the 7 questions that we debrief with. We do it annually. We do it after major events. We do it on a regular basis as a team. It's kind of a mandated thing. We do it in reviews. We do it in surveys. We do it in whatever way we can. But the 7 questions that we ask is, number 1, what went right? Number 2, what went wrong? Number 3, what was confusing? Number 4, what was missing? Number 5, what are the opportunities? Number 6, what are the problems? Number 7, what could we cut? What could we eliminate that no one would miss? And so when we ask those questions, it allows our team to dig in and reflectively think, and we can repeat what went right. We can change what went wrong. We can add what was missing.
Yes.
We can become a lot better because we've reflectively thought.
And that's so powerful. That reflective thinking and discussion is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
When teams tolerate internal turmoil, they tend to go into isolation, kind of like withdrawal from the team.
Right.
And they avoid engagement, which is the next characteristic we want to talk about. When team members hesitate to engage in collaboration, they usually kind of fall into the idea or the mentality of, let's just wait and see.
Right.
And 2 questions. Why does this happen? And why is it detrimental to collaboration?
Well, I think a lack of an engagement is deadly to a team. Imagine, someone in an orchestra who decided not to play their part. Something would be dramatically missing, and everything would suffer. The whole would suffer. So we need, engagement, all the way through the process. We need engagement in coming up with a consensus solution. We need engagement in participation and in discussions and ideas and throwing those. We need engagement at every single level from every single team member. If a member is not engaged in the process, again, like we just said earlier, there's no need for them to be there, to be on the team if they're not engaged. So sometimes a lack of engagement is fostered by a fear to fail. And I think as a team leader, we can encourage engagement a lot more when we attack that fear of failure. And the way that we do that is we make sure that we don't overly penalize mistakes to the point where people stop risking or stop trying things. And
we have to make them know they're valuable.
Yeah,
that we want to hear what they have to say.
Absolutely. We'll correct what needs to be corrected, but we're not gonna foster that fear of failure, because if we do that, it's gonna hinder the engagement.
And speaking about engagement, one of the things we want to do is to really engage the unchurched world into what we're doing and what we have for them. And all this discussion we're doing today really comes back to the church's necessity to really convey with clarity our purpose to the unchurched world.
Yes.
So the final question is then, why must the church collaboratively make clear their purpose to that unchurched world?
I think it's confusing to the unchurched world what the church's purpose is, because the church keeps internally fighting about it. We're not unified and in unity about our purpose, which to me is confusing in inside. Why aren't we? Because Jesus gave us that mandate.
Right.
And Jesus also said, and this was his prayer, his last prayer, John 17, he said, Father, make them one. And then he says this, so that the world would know that he is God. So make them one, be in unity. One in what? In agreement? We don't have to be in, agreeing to be in unity, but we do need to be unified in our purpose. And what I've learned is that if we're internally focused as a church, focused just on us, focused just on believers, there's going to be disunity and there's going to be competition that's unhealthy with other churches.
Because the focus is off.
The focus is off. But if we're externally focused and purposeful in our mandate to reach the lost, then we can be unified and not competitive with other churches, not competitive with each other, and the world will know, just like Jesus said, that he is God. And we have to be unified in that purpose, because the church is the hope of the world, and we have been given a mission
to reach every available person
at every available time,
by every available means,
with the gospel of Jesus Christ,
by creating churches that unchurched people love to attend.